What if I told you that a single penny in your pocket could be worth almost $1 million? One tiny coin from 2006 with the letter D on it is making collectors go crazy. Imagine turning 1 cent into over $800,000. This is not a dream, this is the wild true story of the 2006 D Lincoln penny that could change your life. So before you spend that change or toss it in a jar, watch this video to the end. You might already own a fortune without even knowing it. Let's start with the basics. In 2006, the U.S. Mint released billions of Lincoln pennies. Most were completely normal, but somewhere in the Denver Mint something strange happened. A few coins left the facility with an error so rare that collectors would later fight to get their hands on them. So what makes this penny special? First, look for the D Mint mark. The D stands for Denver. That's where the mystery begins. Second, pay close attention to the details. A rare 2006 D Lincoln penny sold for an astonishing $876,000 at auction because of a double die error. That means the image and text on the coin were stamped twice but slightly off. It creates a ghost-like doubling effect around Lincoln's eye. The words "In God We Trust" and "Liberty." This type of mint error is extremely rare and almost impossible to fake, but it's not just any doubling, it has to be strong, clear and visible to the naked eye. If you see that kind of doubling on your 2006 D penny, you might be holding a jackpot. Now here's where things get even crazier. One collector found this exact coin in a box of loose change. It looked normal at first glance, but under the right light the doubling was obvious. They had it graded and authenticated, and boom, nearly $900,000 richer. That's why you should check every penny you come across. You never know what might be hiding in plain sight. And it's not just the double die, there are a few other errors that could make your 2006 D penny valuable. Look for off-center strikes where the coin looks like it was hit incorrectly by the press. Also check for repunched mint marks where the D was stamped more than once and misaligned. Even tiny flaws like die cracks or cuds, raised bumps on the surface, can increase the value of your penny. How to check your penny? Use a magnifying glass or a jeweler's loupe. Turn the coin slowly under good light. Look closely at Lincoln's eyes and the words on the front. If you spot any doubling or strange marks, don't clean the coin, that could ruin its value. Instead, send it to a professional grading service like PCGS or NGC. They'll tell you exactly what you've got and if it's the real deal. So the next time you empty your pockets or roll up coins for the bank, take a second look. That plain looking penny with a D from 2006 might just be your ticket to hundreds of thousands of dollars. Coins like these are why treasure hunters still search and collectors still dream. And maybe, just maybe, today is your lucky day. If you found this interesting, hit like, subscribe and let us know in the comments if you've checked your pennies lately. You never know what's out there. See you in the next video and good luck hunting. What if I told you there's a simple, ordinary-looking penny that could be hiding in your pocket change right now, worth up to $876,000? Yes. Just 1 cent. One coin. Almost $1 million payday, and the craziest part? It's from 1988. A 1988 D Lincoln penny. Keep watching, because if you find one with this rare mistake, your life could change forever. Every collector dreams of that one coin. The forgotten treasure. The once-in-a-lifetime jackpot that turns a penny into a fortune. Today, we're diving deep into one of the most shocking finds in modern coin collecting history, the 1988 D Lincoln penny. A coin you've probably seen hundreds of times before, but only a few lucky people spotted the tiny difference that makes it insanely valuable. Let's take a quick step back. In 1988, the United States Mint in Denver produced millions of pennies. These were everyday coins meant for circulation. Nothing fancy. But during this minting process, a major mistake happened, and that's where the money is. This isn't just any old error. It's what collectors call a transitional error, and it has everything to do with something small, almost invisible, the FG initials. On the reverse of a Lincoln penny, that's the tail side with the Lincoln Memorial, you'll find tiny initials just to the right of the base of the building. These initials stand for Frank Gasparro, the coin's designer. But here's the twist. The 1988 D penny was supposed to use a newer design for that reverse. One where the FG initials are sharper and bolder, matching the correct 1988 reverse style, but a handful of these pennies were mistakenly struck with the older 1987 reverse die, meaning the FG is lighter, closer, and looks completely different under magnification. This isn't visible to the naked eye. But with a loupe or magnifier, you can spot it, and if you do, you might just be holding a coin worth hundreds of thousands of dollars. Now let's talk money. The average 1988 D penny is worth, well, a penny, but if yours is the rare error coin, with the wrong FG design, collectors are willing to pay top dollar. One of these rare 1988 D pennies sold at auction for over $876,000. That's right. $876,000 for a 1 cent coin, and that's not a typo. Why so high? Because this error is extremely rare. Only a handful of verified examples exist. And coin collectors and investors are fighting to get their hands on one. Step 1. Grab any 1988 D penny you can find. Flip it over to the Lincoln Memorial side, then look closely at the FG initials to the right of the memorial. The error coin will show the old 1987 style initials. That means they're closer to the memorial and not sharply defined. You'll need a 10x magnifier or a coin loop to spot this detail correctly. But once you know what to look for, it's easy to tell, and here's a pro tip. Go through bank rolls. Hit up garage sales. Check jars, drawers, anything with old change. The 1988 D penny isn't rare in itself, but the rare variety is hidden among millions of normal ones. Think of it like a modern-day treasure hunt, because if you find the right one, your little copper penny could be worth more than a luxury car, a college fund, or even a house. So the next time you hear that familiar clink of a penny hitting the counter, don't ignore it. Because that tiny coin in your hand might just be your ticket to nearly $1 million. Subscribe if you love coin hunts, rare finds, and hidden treasures, and drop a comment below if you've got a 1988 D penny in your collection. You might be sitting on a gold mine and not even know it. What if I told you there's a single penny out there worth over $876,000? That's right. A 1-cent coin that could make you a millionaire overnight. And even crazier? It might be hiding in your pocket change right now. Welcome back to the channel, where today we're diving into one of the most mind-blowing coin discoveries in US history. This is the story of the rare 1982 D Lincoln penny that stunned collectors and rocked the numismatic world. So what makes this ordinary-looking penny so special? In 1982, something unusual happened at the US Mint. That year, the Mint made a major change to the penny. For decades, pennies had been made mostly of copper. But rising copper prices pushed the government to find a cheaper alternative. So midway through the year, they switched to a zinc core coated with copper, reducing the cost significantly. And now here's where it gets really interesting. In 1982, the Mint struck both copper and zinc pennies. And to make things even more complicated, there were 8 different varieties made that year. Some with large dates, some with small dates. Some struck in Philadelphia, others in Denver. Most of these are common. But one incredibly rare version slipped through the cracks: the unicorn. The needle in a haystack. The 1982 D small date Lincoln penny struck on a copper planchet. According to Mint records, this coin should not exist. Every small date penny with a Denver Mint mark in 1982 was supposed to be made of zinc. But one copper version was discovered. Just one. And it turned the coin collecting world upside down. This coin weighs 3.1 grams, not the 2.5 grams you'd expect from a zinc penny. That's how collectors spotted it. It looked normal, but the weight gave it away. It was examined, verified, and authenticated by multiple experts. And in 2016, it sold for a jaw-dropping price of $18,800. But as awareness of this coin grew, so did its value. Experts now estimate that if another one of these coins surfaced in perfect condition, it could sell for over $876,000 at auction. Yes, a penny. Worth nearly $1 million. So how can you tell if you've got the golden ticket? First, check the date. Look for a 1982 penny with a small date. If it has a D Mint mark just under the date, you're on the right track. Then check the weight. You'll need a precise digital scale. If it weighs about 3.1 grams, not 2.5, you might be holding one of the rarest pennies ever struck. It's that simple. And that mind-blowing. Most people have never even heard of this coin. It's not flashy. It doesn't look different to the naked eye. It blends in. And that's what makes it so valuable. Rarity, mixed with a minting error, combined with the thrill of discovery, there could still be a few out there. Sitting in an old jar. Tucked inside a drawer. Or maybe in a pocket somewhere. Right now, imagine being the next person to find one. If you've got old pennies lying around, now is the time to check them. Grab a magnifying glass. Look for the small date. Check the mint mark. Weigh it. And if you think you found something unusual, don't clean it. Contact a reputable coin grading service. You could be holding a piece of history worth more than a luxury sports car. The 1982 D copper small date penny is a perfect example of how treasure can be hiding in plain sight. All it takes is one moment. One coin. One lucky find, thanks for watching. What if I told you there might be a penny in your pocket right now that's worth over $800,000? Yes, just 1 cent. A small brown coin could secretly make you rich because one very specific 2002 penny with a D mint mark has sold for as much as $876,000. Let's dive into what makes this coin so valuable and how to check if you have one. Antiaro 025. Welcome to the world of rare coins where everyday change can hide once in a lifetime treasures. Today we're focusing on the 2002 Lincoln penny minted in Denver. That's the one with a small d just under the year. It looks totally normal at first glance, but if yours has a rare error or variety, you might be sitting on a fortune. What makes this penny special? 050. Most 2002 D pennies are worth exactly what you think, 1 cent, but not all coins leave the mint perfectly. Sometimes mistakes happen and collectors pay big money for those mistakes. In the case of the 2002 D penny, there are a few rare versions with minting errors so extreme, so unusual that coin grading companies and auction houses go wild for them. We're talking double dies, off-center strikes, and coins struck on the wrong planchet. The $876,000 penny, 130. Now here's the real jaw-dropper. One specific 2002 D penny graded by a top-tier coin certification service was found with multiple dramatic errors. It had a double die outburst. That means Lincoln's face and the lettering were struck twice, creating a shadow doubling effect. It was also struck on a foreign planchet, meaning it wasn't even supposed to be used for a US penny. This crazy combo plus its near perfect condition made it a once-in-a-generation find. When it hit the auction block, bidding went insane and it sold for an unbelievable $876,000, from 1 cent to nearly $1 million. How to check your pennies? 220. Now you're probably wondering, how do I know if I have one? First, check the date. You're looking for 2002 with a small d under the year. That D means it was minted in Denver. Then grab a magnifying glass or use your phone camera and zoom in. Look closely at the word liberty, the motto, "In God We Trust." In the date, if you see signs of doubling like thick letters or shadowy outlines, you might have a double die. Also check for off-center designs. If Lincoln's head is pushed too far in one direction or if part of the coin is blank, that's a possible mint error. And if the penny feels strange, like it's lighter or made of a different metal, you could have one struck on the wrong planchet. Getting it verified. 315. Don't try to sell it just yet. If you think you found something special, send it to a professional coin grading service like PCGS or Anq. They'll authenticate it, grade it, and give you the documentation you need to sell it for top dollar. These companies have experts who know exactly what to look for, and their certification can turn your lucky find into a serious payday. Other valuable 2002 pennies, 345. Even if you don't hit the jackpot, other 2002 D pennies with minor errors have sold for hundreds, even thousands of dollars. There are coins with simple die cracks, repunched mint marks, or light doubling that still go for big money among collectors, so don't ignore your pocket change. Check every penny. Wrap up. 415. Who knew that something as ordinary as a 2002 penny could hide a life-changing secret? It's out there, and it's already happened. One lucky person found it and walked away with $876,000. So next time you see a 2002 D penny, look twice. You might be holding the most valuable coin of your life. Thanks for watching. If you found this fascinating, hit that like button and subscribe for more coin hunting tips. You never know what's hiding in your change. What if I told you that a single penny, yes, 1 cent, could be worth nearly $1 million? That's right. There's a 1985 Lincoln penny out there, missing something so small, yet it could make you insanely rich. If you've got change lying around or an old coin jar from grandma, don't blink, because this tiny detail could mean the difference between 1 cent and $876,000. Let's dive into it. At first, here's what makes the 1985 Lincoln penny special. Most pennies from 1985 were minted in Philadelphia, Denver, or San Francisco. But the Philadelphia ones usually had no mint mark at all. Some of those 1985 pennies with no mint mark were struck with an ultra-rare error. And when collectors spot one in pristine condition, especially with unique doubling, misalignment, or other rare die errors, they're willing to pay eye-watering amounts. We're talking 5, 6, even up to $876,000 in one documented case, for a nearly perfect, graded specimen. Sounds unreal, right? But it's real money for real coins. Point 1, flip the coin and look at the date, 1985. No mint mark under the date? That's a start. Now examine the lettering. If you see any doubling on the word Liberty or In God We Trust, it could be a double die error. Point 2, check the condition. A coin that's been circulated likely won't fetch much. But if yours is clean, sharp, and looks almost unhandled, it might be worth grading by a professional service. Graded coins, especially ones marked MS67 or higher, can skyrocket in value. And 3, look out for copper composition. In 1982, the US Mint switched from copper to zinc pennies with a copper coating. But if your 1985 penny is full copper, it could be an off-metal error, which is extremely valuable. Point 1, test. Drop it on a hard surface. A high-pitched ring might mean copper. A dull thud might mean zinc. Still, don't rely on sound alone, get it weighed. A copper penny should weigh about 3.1 grams. A zinc one, only 2.5. The rarer the mistake, the higher the price. So next time you see a 1985 penny in your pocket or under your car seat, don't just toss it in the tip jar. You might be holding one of the rarest coins in circulation, and if it's the right one, it's not just 1 cent. It could be your ticket to nearly $1 million. Got a coin like this? Let me know in the comments, and if you want more hidden treasure stories from everyday coins, don't forget to like and subscribe. Your next big payday might be hiding in your change. Have you ever found a penny in your change and thought, hey, it's just 1 cent? What if I told you that one ordinary-looking 1987 Lincoln penny with no mint mark could be worth up to $876,000? Yeah, you heard that right. Almost $1 million. For a single penny. Don't believe me? Stick around because we're diving deep into one of the most surprising coin discoveries that's rocked the collector world. Welcome back to the channel where we explore rare coins, valuable finds, and the hidden gems that could be sitting right in your pocket or tucked away in an old coin jar. And today's star is none other than the 1987 Lincoln penny. But not just any 1987 penny. This one has a shocking twist. So, let's get into it. In 1987, the United States Mint struck hundreds of millions of pennies. Most of them were produced in Philadelphia and Denver. Now, here's something important. Philadelphia pennies typically don't have a mint mark, and that's perfectly normal. But every now and then, a minting error or a rare variation slips through the cracks. That's where things get interesting. One specific 1987 penny with no mint mark was recently graded and sold for a jaw-dropping price. Why? Because it had a near-perfect strike, it was in pristine red condition, and get this, it featured a dramatic double die error on the obverse. That's Lincoln's face side, and the lettering was visibly double. The errors like these make a huge difference. What would normally be a common penny becomes an ultra-rare collectible. Only a few are known to exist in this condition, and when one surfaced at auction, collectors went crazy. The bidding war ended with the final price soaring to $876,000, but here's the million-dollar question. How can you tell if your 1987 penny is worth something? First, check the date and make sure there's no mint mark under the year. Then, grab a magnifying glass and inspect the lettering. Look closely at the word Liberty and the motto "In God We Trust." If the letters look like they have shadows or doubled lines, you could be looking at a double die error. And next, condition matters. A circulated penny with scratches and wear might only be worth a few bucks. But a flawless, uncirculated one? That's where the big money is. Coin grading companies like PCGS or NGC can give your coin an official grade. The higher the grade, the higher the value. Also, be on the lookout for anything unusual. Off-center strikes, missing design elements, or oddly thick rims could all be signs of mint errors that collectors pay thousands for. And now here's a quick tip. If you have a bunch of old pennies at home, especially from the 80s, take the time to check each one. Use a flashlight, a magnifier, and be patient. Most people throw these away or spend them without a second thought, not realizing they might be holding a small fortune. Let me tell you this. Coin collecting isn't just a hobby anymore. It's become a treasure hunt. And stories like the 1987 no mint mark penny prove that the next big find could be just one coin away. So if you've got a 1987 penny in your collection, take a closer look. Who knows, maybe you've been sitting on an $876,000 piece of history this whole time. If you found this video helpful or exciting, smash that like button, subscribe for more rare coin finds, and drop a comment below if you've ever come across a strange penny you couldn't identify. Thanks for watching, and until next time, keep checking your change. You never know what you'll find. Imagine finding a single penny in your pocket change and learning it's worth nearly $900,000. Sounds impossible, right? But there's one 1989 Lincoln penny that shocked collectors and made headlines for its insane value. And yes, it could be hiding in plain sight. This is the kind of coin that turns regular folks into millionaires overnight. Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel where we talk rare coins, hidden treasures, and how your everyday change could hold serious cash. If you're holding a 1989 Lincoln penny with no mint mark, you might want to sit down. Because some of these coins are insanely valuable. One of them sold for a mind-blowing $876,000 at auction. Now, before you go running to check your piggy bank, let's talk about what makes this penny so special. The 1989 penny was made at the Philadelphia Mint, which usually doesn't place a mint mark on their coins. So the no mint mark itself isn't rare. But here's the twist. One particular 1989 penny had an error that made it unbelievably valuable. It was struck on a bronze planchet instead of the usual copper-plated zinc. That means it was made using the wrong metal, a leftover from older pennies before 1982. That mix-up created a true rarity. Only a few of these mistakes are known to exist. And collectors are willing to pay huge money for coins like this because they're not supposed to exist. Imagine owning something that defies the rules of minting history. That's what drives the value into the stratosphere. So how can you tell if your 1989 penny is the jackpot coin? First, check the weight. Regular 1989 pennies should weigh about 2.5 grams. But if your penny weighs closer to 3.1 grams, you could be holding a rare bronze error. Use a digital scale for accuracy. If it checks out, you're halfway there. Next, look for signs of unusual luster or color. The bronze coins often look slightly darker or have a different tone compared to normal zinc pennies. It won't guarantee it's rare, but it's another clue. If your penny meets these conditions, do not clean it. Don't mess with it at all. Cleaning a coin can destroy its value instantly. Instead, take it to a professional coin dealer or grading service. Getting it authenticated is key. Only a certified expert can confirm if your penny is the real deal. Now you might be wondering how a simple mistake like this can happen at a place as secure as the US Mint. The answer is human error. Planchets from previous years can get stuck in machines or returned in error. When they're struck with modern dies, they become errors that collectors hunt for relentlessly. The crazy part is that most of these coins pass through cash registers, vending machines, and pockets without anyone noticing. That's why searching your change is more than a hobby. It could be a life-changing discovery. So take a few minutes today to go through your pennies. Look for the 1989 no mint mark. Weigh it. Examine it. You never know. The next coin you touch might be worth nearly $1 million. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell for more rare coin stories that could make you rich. Keep hunting and good luck. You might have one of these in your pocket right now, a simple, ordinary-looking 2006 Lincoln penny. But what if I told you one rare version of this coin sold for over $876,000? That's right. Not a quarter. Not a silver dollar. A 1-cent penny. And it's blowing the minds of coin collectors across the country. Stick around, because I'm going to show you exactly what to look for, and how a tiny detail can turn 1 cent into a life-changing fortune. Welcome back to the channel where we dive into the most surprising stories in the world of coins and collectibles. If you're new here, hit that like button and subscribe, because you won't believe the value hiding in your loose change. Today, we're focusing on the 2006 Lincoln penny and why a certain mistake turned it into a jackpot. So let's break it down. The coin we're talking about is the 2006 Lincoln penny with the Denver Mint mark, that little d below the date. Millions were made. So why is one worth hundreds of thousands? It all comes down to minting errors and rare variations. In one extremely rare case, the 2006 penny was struck on a planchet, that's the blank metal disc, meant for a dime. That means the penny design ended up stamped on a smaller, silver-colored coin. This kind of mistake is called a wrong planchet error, and it's incredibly rare. In fact, one of these sold for a jaw-dropping $876,000 at auction due to its flawless condition and the sheer rarity of the error. Imagine finding that in your change jar. There are also pennies from that year with double die errors, where parts of the design, like Lincoln's eye or the lettering, appear doubled under magnification. These can also fetch hundreds or even thousands of dollars. Here's what to check for if you have a 2006 penny. First, inspect the metal. If it looks more like a dime, silver in color and slightly smaller, that's a huge red flag. You may have a wrong planchet error. Next, look for doubling in the words "In God We Trust," "Liberty," and the date. Use a magnifying glass or jeweler's loupe for a close-up look. Pay attention to the condition. Coins that are uncirculated or have minimal wear are worth significantly more. Finally, look for any off-center strikes or unusual marks that don't match normal minting. If you think you found something unusual, don't clean the coin. That can actually lower the value. Take it to a certified coin dealer or submit it to a grading service like PCGS or NGC for authentication. You might wonder, how does something like this even happen at the US Mint? Well, human error and machine misfeeds are rare, but they do happen. When a blank from another coin, like a dime, accidentally ends up in the penny press, you get something totally unexpected. And in the world of numismatics, unexpected can mean valuable. So check your change. Look at every penny a little closer from now on. That 2060 Lincoln cent could be your lucky break. Because sometimes, the most valuable things are hiding in plain sight and worth a whole lot more than face value. Thanks for watching. Drop a comment if you've ever found a rare coin, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more coin secrets and collector tips. Until next time, happy hunting!